Next is one of our most successful clients in the world, and he is completely the nicest man. He's a genius, and I really, really like him. From South Africa, DrAlanBarnard. Give him a big round of applause. Thank you. You probably invented the first thing of this sort. You invented an app that solves problems. Apps don't really solve problems. They connect, communicate, entertain. Yeah. Some people play Candy Crush. And you come up with an app that is literally solving problems. Tell us, like what?
So I've just always been curious about why good people make and often repeat bad decisions. And not being able to solve a problem or to resolve an issue that's been hanging over you like a dark cloud is making a bad decision. So that's how I started. I started doing research, because we all know that if you want to be successful, you have to essentially make better, faster decisions. So what is it that causes good people to make and often repeat bad decisions? So we started looking at what the research were available. As a scientist, you stand on the shoulders of giants, so you study everybody that's available exactly like you would do. And what we found was that there are known decision mistakes that we make. So the first thing is, if you think about what limits us as humans, what limits us from doing more, what's our bottleneck? It's our limited attention. So the first mistake that we make is we waste our attention solving problems or dealing with issues that's unimportant.
But aren't all problems different? How can an app solve a problem? Like, is it the solution different for everyone?
Absolutely. So the app purely guides you through the process. So 5 steps, each step has been designed to prevent a common decision mistake. That's how the app works. Most of us, when we face a really important decision today, we still use a pro-con list, which was invented by Benjamin Franklin in 1770. Now, decision sciences has moved on, as you can imagine, since then a little bit. So what I tried to do is to come up with a method that maintains all the benefits of a pro-con list. And one of those benefits is just writing down the pros and cons, getting it out of this mess in your head, and writing it down immediately can expose a confirmation bias. So if you're finding 20 pros and 1 con, you probably should ask yourself, why is it so difficult to make this decision if there's only 1 con, right? So pay a bit more attention and think about the cons. The problem is that there's a major limit in the method, is what if I have a complete list of pros and cons? What the hell do I do now? How do I compare the highest salary of a new job with the inconvenience for my family to move around? So unless I find some common utility, it's basically an impractical decision support tool. It just helps me to expose confirmation bias. So what I did was I created an advancement to the method. We call it a ProConCloud, representing this cloud that hangs over you, but it looks at both the pros and cons of the change and the pros and cons of not changing. The app is called HarmonyDecisionMaker. So
go again, so everyone can download it right now. Get your phones out. Get your phones out.
So it's called HarmonyDecisionMaker.
HarmonyDecisionMaker.
Yeah, it's in the iPhone and iPad App Store, as well as in the Android Google Play Store. HarmonyDecisionMaker. HarmonyDecisionMaker. And you know what? It'd be nice to encourage a fellow entrepreneur if all of you can post it on social media and say, download this cool app. The more we can help each other as a family, the more we can succeed. Absolutely. We not only have business problems, but if you think about as entrepreneurs, we get distracted with relationship issues, with nutritional choices, with all sorts of things that's occupying our scarcest resource, which is our limited attention. So essentially the app for the first time is providing people access to this 5-step process. You get access to it for free. And as JT is mentioning, part of our objective with the app is not just to help you solve problems or evaporate those dark clouds, but to share it with others so we can continue to learn from each other and learn from the best. So in the app, when you download it and you open it, you'll see a whole community library of users all around the world. We already have around 6,000 users from about 60 countries without any marketing that are already starting to share the issues that they're facing, what limiting assumptions or beliefs they had to challenge, how did they go and do it, and what was the results of the implementation. So that's one of the benefits of the app, is that you can actually go in and, like what you would look at Facebook in the morning to see what people are doing or eating, you can actually follow people and say, what are the issues that they're facing? How have they made breakthroughs? Where are they in the implementation? And the coaches can obviously use it as a way of providing support. I'm seeing that you're stuck at a certain step.
Is it artificial intelligence almost?
We are embedding artificial intelligence behind it. So something that's really interesting, we've been working a lot with schools. So there's one of the artificial intelligence algorithms is called a sentiment analysis. And what this will do is automatically analyze your texting. So one of the interfaces we've got in our app is a virtual expert is asking you questions. You simply answer it. So what's the problem that you're facing? Why is it important? You text it like you were having a discussion with somebody over a cappuccino. But what artificial intelligence doing is a background that's analyzing the words that you're using and the frequency of those words. And it can come back with a pop-up to say, I notice you're not in a great emotional state. Are you okay? Would you need help? Do I need to phone somebody? So this is something that we've seen can really benefit, especially the kids, because many times they suffer from depression that we don't even know about it. So that's one of the areas that we are using AI.
What's the end result of the app?
The end result is that what we've seen is that our scarcest resource, as I mentioned, is our limited attention. So what and who we pay attention to is really important. And we get distracted all the time by these clouds that hang over us to do with relationships, decisions that we're facing at work or at home. And the app essentially allows you to evaporate those dark clouds, to solve those problems, to come up with essentially what decision rules do I have to break in order to lift myself up to the next level of performance. And then it also guides you for the process of actually implementing those rules and reporting the results that you got.
So other than downloading the app and using it and trying it, what about the app that so many people download apps but then don't use it a lot? You know, we download it and we don't use it. On average, people use 10 apps. How do you make sure that this is something that people will actually use?
It's the holy grail in apps, right? Is how do we get somebody not just to download it and to use it, but to keep on using it? So part of the strategy is you have to make it really simple to use. You have to make it fun to use. So the usability aspect is really important. If it's going to take too long and it's going to be too complicated, people just don't use it and they delete it. So we have to continuously work on making it simpler, faster to use. And there's two practical ways that I'm doing it. Is we test it at the schools. So we've got 7, 8, 9-year-old kids that are part of our app development team. And we pay them, of course, $5 for every example they take through. So they're being bullied at school or they're not finding their energy to study for their grades. They follow the app and see if they can find out what has blocked them from previously solving this problem and how to solve the problem. We pay them $5. We pay the teacher that checks the quality of the work $5, and the school gets $5. For $15, we get a perfect example going into our library, plus we get their feedback to say, where did you get stuck? Where was it confusing? Where is it still taking too long? And having enough references and examples to guide them through the process.
Let me put the app if that solves my problem.
Yes, go
What
for it.
happens when I feel I'm not as smart as Alan? Yeah. Sorry, you are screwed. So everybody, they should, number one, download the app. What's the name again?
HarmonyDecisionMaker.
HarmonyDecisionMaker. And please, I think it'd be a good idea for you to post it, put a picture of Alan, download this cool app. I think the more we can, make this a go, I think it'd be great to know that it took off. One more thing, what kind of people are you looking to connect with here? Is there any specifically you're looking for this community here to help you, other than download the app and also use it?
Absolutely. So we've partnered with a number of organizations. For example, in South Africa, those that are from South Africa will know the Noakes Foundation, Professor Tim Noakes. So he's got a couple of 100,000 followers. And he's focusing on this low-carb, high-fat diet. And what makes it interesting is he's got all these people that follow him, and they sort of self-classify. There are people that have read his book, loved it, but never started a diet. There are people that read the book, loved it, started a diet, but compromised, didn't get the results. Then those that actually got amazing results, but didn't stay. And then the last ones that stayed. And what we can do is we can partner with an organization like that to say, if you get your followers to actually follow the app, we can learn why. Answering the question why. Why did group one never start? What was the fears that they had? Because that's coming back to the first question I had is, why do good people make and often repeat bad decisions? We make two types of bad decisions. We resist good changes, For what reason? Not because we don't know that the change would be good for us or that it would be bad if we don't do it. It's mainly because we have a fear of loss or effort or risk. And the app can quickly expose that for the various categories. And the other mistake that we make is we often overreact and we make bad changes. Why? Because of some exaggerated frustration with the current situation or exaggerated expectation. And again, the app quickly exposes that. So any group that's out there that are really interested to understand why their customers don't do something or continue to do something even though they know it's bad for us, come talk to us. Like a bank, we've partnered with a bank. Why do people keep on overspending and not saving enough?
But it's also people that have problems, one business, no employee, no business yet, very successful. This is for everybody.
Absolutely. And what we
So
want
if you've got a problem, your app's got the solution.
the app will guide you to find out why you haven't been able to solve it or how to learn from it. And then, as I mentioned, let's share it with each other, because not only we can learn from the best, but we should be learning from each other.
So the more things are in the app, the more problems are solved, the more of an algorithm it develops to solve problems. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, DrAlanBarnard, everyone.
Thank you very much.